Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again with another updated deck. You're probably wondering why I've gone back to the Streets New Capenna for Rigo. I started the YouTube channel about, over 2 years ago now, coming up to three shortly. And Rigo was one of the very first commanders I ever covered as a deck that I built. And at the time I really did focus on the power 1 or less. Since then, there have been a lot of other creatures come out with power 1 or less that Rigo probably works really well with. So I figured it was time to do an update on this one. But for those of you who don't know Rigo, it's hybrid of green and white or white and blue, and then a white mana for a legendary cat citizen that's 2/2. Comes into play with the shield counter on it, so a little bit of indestructibility. And whenever you attack a player or planeswalker with one or more creatures with power 1 or less, you get to draw a card. Yeah. There are some creatures out there now that make Rigo even better, and that's why I've decided this is going to be the updated deck for this week. So here we go. This is what my newest version of Rigo looks like in real life. So in the beginning, some of the creatures haven't changed. Some of the creatures have definitely changed since we did this one originally. So Alorius Shepherd is also in now to stop everything being countered that's green, which includes Rigo, because green in the colour of identity. Avacyn's Pilgrim for ramp along with Birds of Paradise. Delighted Halfling makes an appearance from Lord of the Rings, and then we get into some of the unblockable creatures like Good Dual Lurker and Mistcloak Herald. Noble Hierarch gives us all 3 colours and technically can attack for 0 to draw a card if we need it to. One of the biggest inclusions now is Ocelot Pride coming in from Modern Horizons 3. The Ascend, the Lifelink, the First Strike, the generation of 1/1 tokens really does help give us more ways of getting card draw from Rigo when we attack. Slitherblade can't be blocked, so we always can get your damage in. Likewise, Triton Shawlstalker can't be blocked, another one that gets in for the damage. And Yosamaro Ever Faithful makes a reappearance in this deck. We have a few other legendary permanents that come into play, so he does get a little bit bigger. Yes, that stops him drawing cards, but you need something that's going to be there to block something reasonable. Finn the Fangbearer comes in as well. Death Touching, get those poison counters on the go. Gala Greeters, put the +1/+1, you'd go, hopefully you'd go cast your creatures, get you 2 life and you tap treasure token. If you have to cast the 3rd one, you do take Gala Greeters out of Rigo time, but another one you can build up. Invisible Stalker's got hexproof and is unblockable. And then Jacked Rabbit comes in from Bloomborough now. Yes, we want to do the Ravenous. We want to get him up to at least 5-6 power, but then attacking and getting all those lovely 1/1 white rabbit tokens to go with the next turn to get more card draw is solid. Bethretron Soldier comes in from Urza's Destiny. I forgot about this in the original deck, and is another unblockable one that gets through, along with Shoreline Looter. The Threshold's quite fun, especially if we've got 7 cards in our graveyard. We don't have to discard anything, but otherwise we get loot in. I'll cope with that. Suspicious Stowaway can't be blocked, deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, and then you get to flip it around with a Daybound and Nightbound. Admittedly, when it goes Nightbound, the 2/1 Werewolf doesn't really help you do anything, but it gets a card. If it gets the damage in, it will still draw your card, which ain't the end of the world. Adeline the Resplendent Cathar will probably never trigger Rigo, but the 1/1 white soldier humans that it takes, sorry, not soldiers, they're just straight humans that taps and attacking, will do on the 2nd turn. Azusa, Lost But Sequencing to give us the land drops, and then Best Soul Nourisher makes an appearance as well. I did a whole deck on Best a couple of weeks back, so you can go and look that one up. But this one just helps us out, pump up our creatures when we get there, because at the end of the day, there's still 1 power, and they will, if you stack your triggers right, you get your card draw first. Biramas, the Kin of Orizokus, we'll go with that, gives us some 1/1 cat soldier tokens that also will help us trigger afterwards. And then Enduring Innocence for the card draw, along with Enduring Vitality for the extra mana ramp, is also helpful in this deck entirely. Helga, the Skittish Seer, we do have some creatures that cost mana value 4 or more, so we'll get a life and get a +1/+1 counter and then add some mana, which I like the look of. Loot is in, comes in from Foundations, additional land drops, reveal the top 6 cards, you know what you're doing, and get to put them into play with their mana value. The other Enduring appears Curiosity, more card draw, which we do like if we get the damage into a player. And Lenore, Autumn Sovereign, gets a Coven, chucks around some +1/+1 counters, gives us a card draw if we've got 3 creatures with different powers, which we should do with this deck quite happily. Toski, Bearer Secrets, attacks each turn, is indestructible, deals combat damage. Well, any creature deals combat damage to a player, we get another card draw. Trostani, Selesnia's Voice. We have a few ways to make tokens, and therefore populating's easy enough to do. Yeah, Urza's in. Big change from the previous deck. It is a 1/4, so we get the attacking. We will get a card draw with Urza, and then the 5 ability, we all know how great it is. And the constructs will help us just stabilise when we've got some bigger things coming at us. Warren War Leader, we want to do the Offspring. We want to save this until we have 6 mana so we can have a 1/1 token copy, and then whenever we attack we get a 1/1 white rabbit creature token that's tapped to attacking, or we pump the army up. Your choice. Zimone Paradox Sculptor is also in to put some +1/+1 counters around when we get some creatures. You know, if we've got 1 or 2 creatures that are already beyond the 1 power, might as well put the counters on them and just get bigger things, and doubling up at the end of the day. Quite good fun. Chilean Teller of Tales lets us just return creatures that we may want to recast at a later stage. You know, Lord Urza, I'm looking at you. Ancient Gold Dragon, if it hits, it gives us a whole load of 1/1 blue fairy dragon tokens. Trostan, the founder of Benalia, also comes in. Reveal the top 7 cards of our library when it comes in. Put any number of creature and or land cards into the hand. And then when he dies off, we get 7 1/1 white soldier creature tokens, which is great. Obviously, a lot of the stuff isn't that powerful, so we had to go with 2 big finishes. Craterhoof Behemoth, Moonshaker Cavalry. They're both in. They'll both do the job for us. Just as good as ever. A few spells to keep us going. Path to Exile for some targeted removal. Aura Mutation just to take out some annoying enchantments and give us a whole load of 1/1 sapling creature tokens. Cyclonic Rift for board control. Farseek for ramp. Grand Crescendo gives us a whole load of 1/1 green and white creature tokens if we pay the X. But this is also here for the double white to give all our creatures indestructible. Believe me, that does help on several occasions. Likewise, Heroic Intervention does the same thing, but makes us everything we gain hexproof, and all our creatures, well, all the permanents, sorry, gain hexproof and indestructible. So a nice little workaround. Nature's Law, 3 visits ramp, and then we have Servo Expedition for some more tokens to attack with. March of the Multitudes comes in. We can convoke this out and get a big number of X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens with lifelink, which does help. Teferi's Protection to hold our board together when everything's gone pear-shaped, and Raise the Past. Return all creature cards with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And if you go back up here, we have quite a lot that are 2 or less, including, believe it or not, Jacked Rabbit if it's been killed off because the X is 0. From there, we go into Artifact Land, Elixir of Immortality. I think I've said it this week. I always try and play this where I can. Lots of mill decks around at the moment on MTGO, so I need this here to give me a little bit of hope against them. And then Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, 1 of each of the medallions, and Ancient Cornucopia, because I just like this card, and the little bit of life gain and the mana ramp is nice. Enchantment wise, some of the ones you've seen already this week. Monologue Tax, Rhystic Study. Tokisia's Welcome is also in, so we get that card draw when we play our small creatures. Only once a turn, but 3 mana, play a card, get a 1/1, get a card. I'm happy with that, no issue. Smothering Tithe for the extra treasures if people don't pay their taxes. Rabble Rousing is just a nice hideaway enchantment that gives us even more 1/1s when we attack with things. And then finally, another card you've seen this week already, Dollmaker's Shop / Porcelain Gallery. Gives us a load of toys when we attack, and then eventually we'll flip into the Porcelain Gallery after we've had the Dollmaker's Toy Shop and get some really big creatures on the go, I hope. Lands wise, 36, all green, white and blue, all the way through. Arch of Arkansas here because I do think we need some way of drawing extra cards. Gavany Township, we just need to pump everything to survive or get an attack in, which is very nice. We have got Mikokuro, Centre of the Sea, for a little bit more card draw that helps everybody out. And then Reliquary Tower and Temple of the False God, the usual selection of cards you'd expect to see in one of my decks. But Rigo is back. To all intents and purposes, I think it's more or less a completely new deck now. There are some cards, I'm sure, that are power 1 or less than the 3 colours that I haven't included that you think should be in here. Let me know in the comments down below. That's fine, got no problem. But this is the version I'm playing at the moment. I've been playing on MTGO a little bit, testing out, and it's working. And I'm quite happy with how it's working at the moment. the actual card draw is ridiculous. You do need a Reliquary Tower. There is an argument to have Thought Vessel in here, so you've got another way of having an unlimited hand size. That may be a change I make going forward in the future. But for now, it works, it's fun, and I'm really glad I updated the deck from 2022 to, well, now the end of 2024. But, you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. You just don't get around to these things. So, you know, subscribe if you can, down below. There will be a stream on Sunday of this week. This should be going out on Friday the 27th of December. There will be a stream on the 29th. Hopefully we'll get to play some of the decks. There are a couple of decks I'm going to play before I play Rigo, as you're aware if you listen to the videos this week. All I can say is I hope that the Christmas has gone well, that you've not all too bad after all the food and drink and frivolity you've been having with your families, or, you know, if you've just been playing Commander all through on the MTGO. I hope you've had a great time. I'll be back on Sunday for a stream. We'll play some of the decks then. Any comments, let me know. I'll still respond. But for now, I'm checking out. Thanks for watching. Take care. And yeah, I'll be back next week. So have a good one. See you soon. Bye.